Hello my friends, and welcome from another Halloween haunt. This time we are at King's Dominion, and oh boy, did it start off very similar to the one at Dorney Park, which I frequented, and that is with a sort of opening show, releasing all the scare actors, officially announcing that the event has started. So the character that kind of in spirit is the Hecate of this park, the icon of this park, if you will, is called Queen Majesty. I really loved her look. And I thought it was kind of odd though that the performance space was so narrow, and they also tried to bring all the scare actors in. That was kind of wild to me, just because there wasn't that much space for any of that. But that being said, I really like the nature and spirit of how they approached it. And I heard that this park had its own overlord at some point who was overthrown by Queen Majesty, and there's a scare zone around that, so once that area kind of clears out a little bit after the performance, you can go check that out. But just like at other Halloween haunts, it's kind of an abbreviated thing. It ends at 11, it kicks off at 7, so there's a lot to do. I think there's 6 scare zones and 6 mazes, so yeah, we got our work cut out for us tonight. So there is an outdoor maze right when you enter on the right here, Cornstalkers, which obviously you guys might have heard that was removed at Dorney Park and replaced by something else. I'll tell you up front, I did drop money on the Fright and Fast Lane Plus because I know how these events go. Little time, lot to do, but it was like $100. Okay, one maze down, Cornstalkers, super dark in there. Don't really understand what was happening. If it hadn't been so dark in there, maybe I could have tried to enjoy more of it, but it was just very tight corridors with people dressed like corn. Very effective. I wish there had been more of that ambient orange light. An entire group became my backpack. I told them if they were feeling scared to just scream, let it out, it disappears. And they screamed a lot, so they're doing something right with Cornstalkers. Oh, there was also a bungee scare actor at the very end. I was like, oh, can you please do it? Can you please? He didn't do it. Bummer. So there is the stage where all the craziness happened. I do really enjoy what they do with the Eiffel Tower here at night. It's going wild with the lights. But now we need to go head on over to the next maze. Hang on, here's a better look at it without all those floodlights in the way. How cool is that? Such a shame that this is such an abbreviated event. They really should expand operations. Here's a standby line for Condemned. Ooh. Yeah, that's looking spicy over there. Thank goodness. All right, maybe it was $100 well spent. Let's go on over to the Fright Lane thing. All right, that one I was impressed by, like fairly detailed sets all around. Something kind of throws you off though when you see like the scare actors in costumes. There was one bride that was like up on a pedestal that was like, you know, getting ready, but also going crazy, and it was cool, except like she had this awesome costume on and then Skechers, and I'm like, oh, don't do that. I know comfort is important, that's why a lot of people like Crocs and stuff, but oh man. Anyway, there was I love seeing overconfident teenagers. They were in the group ahead of me, and they were like talking, you know, really confidently. They were for sure not going to get scared, but let me tell you how wrong they were. It was great. It was wonderful. Looks like we're walking into our very first scare zone, and that is called Pumpkin Eater, which shares a lot of like DNA with the Hollow, which has similar costumes. Colonial pumpkin possession. Let's call it that.
See what I mean? Why are you yelling in my ear? You
Okay, number one, they had like things right in the middle that forced you to kind of congregate a little tighter so the scare actors could be more effective. Two, they had sliders. I haven't seen those in a while, and you know, if you've been following along, big disappointment over at Knott's, unfortunately, because of the rain. No sliders, so I haven't seen them in a while. And then lastly, there was somebody who had like a thing that they could direct fog at you, which new to me, but pretty cool. Couldn't really get them in camera though because of all the fog. So here's the entrance to Grimwoods. I wonder how far back this line is. Oh man, I'm seeing a lot over there that maybe you can't see because of the light. But my goodness. Yeah, that is a big old healthy line back there. Oh, and it is circling around this building. What? Oh man, this line is going all the way back by Grizzly, which is closed, but this looks like the entrance if you have fast lane. But did you see all of that? Oh my goodness, it's becoming more and more worth it here. All right, I really wasn't sure where like the maze started and the queue ended because you were walking through at that same pace and starting and stopping the entire time, which is kind of a bummer. This was the second outdoor maze. Cornstalkers is the only other one that's outdoors. But yeah, just the pacing is super off. There's a lot of distance to cover, and you're doing it at a snail's pace. So there's a lot of time where you're not doing anything. So like, very odd, long for unnecessary reasons, which is a shame because it looked really cool. The lighting, the fog, and all of that in the woods. You can't go wrong with that vibe. Just the flow of it was super off. I should mention, it is what you think, Grimwood, Grimm, Brothers Grimm, fairy tales, and all that stuff. There's a concert going on behind me. It's called Riff Raff, way back over there. And then, I don't know, this can't be the line for Windseeker, is it? Or is this like an extended queue for Blood on the Bayou? And yes, you heard that right. There is a Blood on the Bayou in this park, just like there is at Dorney Park. So indeed, can confirm, they are using the Windseeker queue and then going along Windseeker, almost going to Grizzly for the queue to Blood on the Bayou here. I'm not trying to make this video an advertisement for Fright Lane, but holy smokes, if you're not local and you want to do it all in one night, I feel like you have no choice. And you thought that was the entrance? No, there is even more queue going back this way. Oh my goodness, okay. So I'm starting to think that Kings Dominion doesn't realize how bad the crowds are here on like during this event and on Saturdays in general. The fast lane actually had a merge point, so whereas all the other ones had like here's the regular line and here's the other one, and they'll stop one and switch to the other. Instead, they had a merge point, which happened before the entrance to the maze, that wasn't being like stopped or anything. They just pointed to tell you to go into the line, and then you went into the line like really awkwardly without any sort of control in that. Also the entrance into the maze itself, once everyone was going, they didn't stop to try to improve the guest flow or anything like that. Instead, what happened was it felt like you were still in the queue going through the house. That's the tempo that it had, and it was just not the best. I was wondering where this line might end. There's Windseeker, there's the Coca-Cola refresh station, and now it's going all the way over here. Oh my goodness. Down beneath this, basically? Wait, hang on. So for reference, I'm here underneath the Ferris wheel, and the line is still going alongside the carousel, and then here we are. I'm gonna ask him what the wait is expected to be. It's 2.5 hours. That line is 2.5 hours. Wow. Like, to me, nothing is worth waiting that long. No ride, roller coaster, or attraction. I would never. Anyway, so Trick or Treat looks like it's the one up next, and I see somebody here standing with the Trick or Treat line starts here, so I guess let's see how long that one is. So this one at least is moving a little bit faster, and it's estimated to be at an hour, which is a little more reasonable, I think. So there is the facade, super cute, and then, oh my goodness, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. It's using this ride's queue. So where the heck? I don't know where the entrance is, but there you are. I Thank goodness it seems we got pulse through there a little bit better than, what's it called? Blood on the Bayou, which, oh man, I am still like super confused by that one. And I'm trying to find better lighting, but it's not working. This is better. Anyway, good sets. Really creepy with all the kids that were kind of being captured, and you know, it's all about witches. It's trick or treat. So like, what do you expect? They basically feed on kids apparently in this story. I've also noticed that if I kind of do this with both my hands, like not grab my thing, but like kind of look tense and crouch a little, I can get some attention. I'm really confused now. Am I doing all of this just for the attention? I don't know. Gonna have to think about that. Anyway, solid house, good pacing. I think the line might actually be shorter than it seems with the 1 hour mark, because they're doing a good effort of keeping things moving inside the house itself. So we have just one house remaining, or maze. I forgot what they called them here. However, we have a scare zone or two to go through before we get there. The Cleaver Brothers Carnival. It was pretty cool. Would go back. I might go back to that area to do like a walkthrough or the strolls that I do. I only get so much time here tonight, so there's not enough time to do all 5 of them. So I might come back for this one for sure. Took me way too long to figure out the last house is actually just inside Planet Snoopy. So in case you didn't know where it was, it's over here, just to the right. And then the line here, there's like no signage or anything. But the line is, wow, is something else. All right, let's go experience the last maze of the night. So 21 was kind of an odd collection of a whole bunch of different motifs and themes. And now I think we're near Site X, which is another scare zone. Alright, that one was Site X. It was right outside of the place that I found no line to eat some food. I had the chorizo queso burger. Would not recommend. It's nothing special. There's just some chorizo in kind of like a nacho plasticky cheese. I might be getting that wrong, but that's basically all sorry, it's super loud. That's all I was really getting from it. And it was, with fries, it was like almost $20. So, I wouldn't recommend it for the price and for what you get. Anyway, Site X is super cool. There was like, I think it's a better storyline than Cats in the movie, where there's like a curse that was uncovered in the jungle, and now all of the scare actors, they're different cursed beings. Awesome. Love it. A couple scare zones to check out. I don't know if I'm even going to have time for a show, but we're getting pretty close to wrapping this one up. So I'm pretty sure this is the one that I missed. It's called Uprising, and it's right in the center walkway, which is probably why I ended up going to the right as I entered the park, ending up in Pumpkin Eater instead. So Uprising was okay, and now we're here in Masquerade, which not many people in this area. I'm shocked that they have this underneath the Eiffel Tower, although it is very nice. I question its location, that's all.
Are you ready for it? Yes. You start.
Hello, darling.
Just hanging out here under the giant speakers, listening to Fur Elise get electronified and such. Okay, wow, what a rushed evening, my goodness. I got to go through each of the houses once, got to go through each of the scare zones once, only got to see 2 shows, couldn't make time for anything else. That kind of is a bummer, because some of those shows looked like a lot of fun. But here we are, a 4-hour event, guys. Come on, King's Dominion, at least go to midnight, because this is, like, there's so much good here. Like, there's a lot of stuff. That masquerade needs to get moved somewhere where more people can interact with those scare actors, because it is wonderful. The other one, Uprising, here was all right in terms of its location, but having to go all the way around for Pumpkin Eater and all the way around for the carnival. Some amazing stuff is in there, and more people should get to experience it. You don't get to when you're waiting in these long lines, when you're waiting in long lines for food, long lines for the houses, or the mazes. I still don't know what you guys call them. This is a great event. It just needs to be a little longer, and there needs to be a little more control of the crowds. Right now, the flow is just, it's not there. So, the theme of the night has been get better at controlling your crowds and attendance, and this thing could be twice as good. But anyway, that's me done rambling on and nitpicking this thing. I still managed to have a good time despite the crazy crowds and waits. But all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you go make your own adventure. Bye.